The Clarity Act just cleared its biggest hurdle. Solana's biggest consensual overhaul is live for testing. Kraken just fired LayerZero and hired Chainlink. Claude just recovered $400,000 in Bitcoin. If that sounds like your kind of signal, hit subscribe button and give this video a like. My name is Sergey and I'm DevRel at GetBlock. This is show Running Web3. We have video every Monday. Let's get started. The most important crypto bill in the US history just cleared its final hurdle. On May 14th, the Senate Banking Committee advanced the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act in a 59 vote. All 13 Republicans were joined by Democrats Ruben Callego and Angela Alsobrooks. Senator Elizabeth Warren arrived with 44 proposed amendments, although none of them were passed. The bill now heads to the full Senate floor, where it needs to pass 60 votes out of 100. Why this act matters so much? We were talking about on the previous video. It matters because actually it will end up this story of 6 years where the US regulators were trying to define the rules of the game. DeFi gets a final regulatory lane for the first time, and in our opinion it's a good thing, because now investors, new startup teams would have clear rule of the games, and it will be easier for the industry to make business in the US. If you or one of your friends have ever had experience communicating with the US in terms of crypto, it's really more complicated than in Europe or Asia. Well, the builder take here is obvious, but we have to admit that even if everything's gonna be okay and it will pass the Senate, the rules won't be applicable until the 2027. But the direction is now clear enough. Solana just put its biggest consensual overhaul on a live cluster. On May 11th, Anza announced Alpenglow is live on a community test cluster, the biggest consensus change in Solana's history, now running on validator infrastructure ahead of mainnet. Solana replaces Tower BFT and removes proof of history entirely. Target finality is around 150 milliseconds. Probably they would achieve even 100 milliseconds. One of the most interesting things about this upgrade is that the validator votes will move off-chain. And it's such a cool thing to make, because it roughly will free something like 75% of block space. Another thing is quite interesting in this upgrade, because it was approved by 98.27% of validators. It's not really common in Solana. Alpenglow also changes the MEV calculus. Daily based transactions ordering becomes significantly more expensive for validators. Mainnet target is the third quarter of 2026, and the builders should start building their apps on 550 seconds finality before mainnet. And if latency is not just a word for you, you know where you can find the best latency on Solana. We at GetBlock were able to build the world's fastest Solana node, less than 2 milliseconds finality. Check our links in the description to test it out. Ethereum shipped a new leadership team, a 200 mil gas target, and the live Glamsterdam Devnet all in 1 week. On May 11th, Ethereum core devs hit 3 new protocol cluster leads: Will Karkoran covering ZKVM and post-quantum consensus, and Frederick leading protocol security at the $1 trillion security initiative. Why does it matter? Well, 200 mil gas limit is 3.3x at the current 600 mil. Combined with ePBC decentralized block production and EEP 8037 repricing cold data costs, Glamsterdam will fundamentally change the economics of building on Ethereum Layer 1. The leadership transitions matters too. We see that the team will be focused on the post-quantum reality. Actually, the builder take here is quite similar to the one we gave you at the previous news, because we are talking about the adaptability and scalability, so you probably should adapt to the 200 mil reality before it will arise. Claude has already lost $292 million in April. By May 19th, $3 million had already left LayerZero. On May 14th, Kraken announced it is replacing LayerZero with Chainlink as the exclusive cross-chain infrastructure and all future Kraken wrapped assets. The migration covers Ethereum, Inc., Unichain, and Optimism. LayerZero publicly admitted that it had made a mistake by allowing its own verifier network to secure high-value assets. The consolidation around Chainlink CCIP is a fundamental structural change. By now, Chainlink has already supported $25 trillion in all transactions. Actually, the most important build take here is that you should review your DVN configuration. Clarity Act cleared committee on Wednesday, but Circle decided not to wait. It shipped the infrastructure to run on top of that. Circle announced Agent Stack, a full suite of tools for AI agents to autonomously manage USDC payments, treasury operations, and contract execution. Alongside this, Circle has raised $222 million. The week's three biggest stories: Clarity Act, AWC Agent Core, and Circle Agent Stack is definitely a signal. If you're building any agentic payment economy solution, you should probably now not just consider X402 solution, but also take a look at what Circle will propose to you. Bitcoin has public for 17 years right now, and Starknet decided to give it a switch in privacy. On May 12, strkBTC went live on Starknet's Ethereum Layer 2. It's a wrapped Bitcoin asset built on new strkBTC privacy framework that lets users toggle between public and shielded transaction modes. In public mode, fully visible and auditable. In shielded mode, zero knowledge proofs verify validity without revealing sender, receiver, or amount. The meeting is overseen by a 5-party federation, includes Near Protocol. Obviously, it's all about this trend of AI and Web3, but now you can actually connect your AI tools with crypto wallets and guarantee real-world identities with 90% accuracy. strkBTC is the first standard built on top of that Stark20, so you should definitely take a look on that. Someone just dumped its entire college computer into Claude. What came out was $400,000 worth of Bitcoin. Ex-user recovered 5 BTC locked since 2015 after uploading his entire college computer back up to Claude. Claude parsed thousands of unstructured files and identified an older wallet that predated a forgotten password change. The user has tried over 7 trillion password guesses over 11 years. And the total GPU spent of that was worth $15. And this particular story, in our view, is quite important that no Bitcoin's cryptography was broken. Probably you all have heard those stories when I write down a password for my Bitcoin wallets and then lost it somewhere. And now AI actually can be a solution to that. But obviously there is another problem, because scammers can now start generating passwords for not really stolen Bitcoin wallets. So for anyone building their wallet infrastructure and custody product, recovery architecture is still quite a good thing to be worried about. Your crypto wallet was designed to be used by humans, but AI, they don't click, they don't wait like humans. At Consensus Miami on May 9th, executives from Trust Wallet and Mesh said the entire crypto wallet stack is being redesigned for AI agent use. Well, the corest problem on this matter is that on every movement, any transaction on a traditional crypto wallet, you need a human approval. And this UX pattern, actually not just UX, also a technical pattern, made it impossible to operate for AI agents. And the new architecture actually proposes separation of key management from transaction authorization, gives agents programmable spending limits, and uses AMPC and smart accounts to enable multi-party authorization without human in the loop for routine transactions. To be fair, I have already lost the track of AI news in this week, but yes, still, it's a biggest signal pattern. X402, Coinbase and its protocol, its chain actually. This matters because AI agent payment story like X402, for example, they all assume a wallet layer that still doesn't exist. An agent that can pay for API calls still needs a custody infrastructure that can authorize those payments without a human click. Well, if we could use some analogy here, AI payments without this kind of infrastructure is a plane that has no place to land. So, if you're building agent infrastructure, the current bottleneck is wallet's layer. Bitcoin's post-quantum migration starts now. Project 11 CEO Alex Sherborne published a detailed analysis warning that Bitcoin's post-quantum migration will be harder than Taproot. The core challenge here is roughly 400 million BTC sit in addresses that expose their public keys, making them potentially vulnerable to a cryptographically relevant quantum computer. Most researchers place Bitcoin's post-quantum reality at least a decade away from current moment. But the migration itself could take that long. We actually also somehow covered this topic when we were talking about Zcash proposal. So if you're building custody infrastructure solutions for Bitcoins, you should probably now have started to document which address types your users hold and what a migration path would look like for each. Billions were drained from crypto wallets, and it all happened because the users couldn't read the approvals. Now, Ethereum's just fixed that. The Ethereum Foundation and major wallet developers launched Clear Signing, a new standard designed to stop users from unknowingly approving malicious crypto transactions by replacing confusable hex code with human-readable explanations. Instead of saying this, user send 1 Ethereum to Vitalik in exchange for 3000 USDC. MetaMask, Ledger, Trust Wallet, and Ruby are among the first wallets implementing the standard. This is the last topic in this video, and I wanted to talk with you about this crypto adoption thing, because this news particularly, it shows us that at the end of the day, the crypto adoption, mass adoption thing, it's all about UX. It's all about how users who do not interact with crypto, with blockchain on everyday basis, how they can interact with it, and if they can trust it and actually literally understand what they are doing. And in this manner, I'm really happy that all major wallets are gonna implement this new standard. This was a huge week, guys. Thank you for your attention. Please don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and of course feel free to check out our beautiful communities on X, LinkedIn, and Telegram. My name is Sergey, and I'm DevRel at GetBlock. See you next Monday.